Hello and welcome to episode 18 of Assetto Corsa. We're AD Studios and today we're going to be looking at another track mod. This is the Yas Marina circuit and we've got a full team back.
Yep, I'm glad to be back and we're at the Yas Marina.
And he's going to go straight into a wall.
Not this time.
Right, okay, so what he's gone and done there is not go where the car's supposed to go.
Yeah, I was about to say, that looks a bit narrow to me.
Yeah. Okay, this is going to be quite interesting. And
I think you need to reverse, mate.
Look behind you and... Right, so while he tries to get himself out of this, let's talk a bit about the Yas Marina circuit.
Right, and isn't this Kimi Räikkönen's favourite circuit?
Yeah, it's Kimi Räikkönen's favourite circuit. We won't exactly repeat what he said, but paraphrasing him, we're going to say that the first sector he says is quite okay, and the rest of the track is a bit not quite
nice,
okay.
Not nice.
Yeah, not quite okay.
Yeah.
But we'll be the judge of that. This track was opened in 2009 October for the Formula One season, and its major events are the Formula One racing. So it has been on the calendar ever since 2009, as well as the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, GP2 Asia Series, V8 Supercars, and GT1 racing, as well as the Gulf 12-hour endurance race.
Yep.
So you do have day to night races in here.
Yeah. It cost a measly £800 million.
Yeah, and it is a Herman Tilke design track, so it is one of those modern tracks. But like I said, I think we mentioned it last week about Herman Tilke tracks. We're not too fond of his designs because they start looking a bit... Well, you'll see when you get to Sector 2.
I don't know, I mean, I kind of like it because the first sector resembles the racetrack.
Yeah, it's quite nice.
And then the second, third go into a street mode, so it's got the best of both worlds, don't you think?
It has got the best of both, but the problem is, I find anyway, is that it doesn't seem to... It doesn't flow too well, as in from the racetrack into a street circuit mode. There's no real buildings around or anything,
Yeah.
so it's a street circuit without any of the fun of the street circuit, really. Because if you think about it, if you're racing in somewhere like Monaco,
Yeah.
right,
Well,
there's buildings everywhere.
Monaco's unique. I mean,
Yeah.
Monaco's is...
There is another circuit that we had that was similar to this, as in the street circuit side of it, and that was Valencia, and everyone hated that track. I think it's been actually taken off the Formula One calendar now. It was another Herman Tilke design track. But, it's a track, and it's now available in Assetto Corsa, and I'm sure there are people that will like it.
Yeah.
This mod will be linked in the description box below, so do check it out at the end of this video. We're driving the Lotus 211. Well, we're not driving the Lotus 211, but...
Our colleague is, who's trying to drive it, shall we say.
Trying to drive a Lotus 211.
As long as he's avoiding paths and just staying on the road, I think we might be okay.
Yeah. We could talk about this actual mod now. I think we've covered the basics of the track. It's 3.4 miles actually. That's probably what we haven't covered on the track. 3.4 miles in Abu Dhabi, so you don't really get rain or anything. But they did used to do some Formula One young driver tests here, which means they used to actually wet the track. So that's something though we're not going to see in Assetto Corsa right now.
I mean, out of all three of us, you're the sort of the F1 fanboy here. Does this resemble the circuit?
Yeah, I gotta say it does resemble the circuit. It's not up to the standards of perhaps Assetto Corsa themselves. I mean, if you look up at the floodlights, can you see there's this weird shadowing effect?
Oh yeah.
I think that's because it's a conversion from somewhere, and that shadowing effect's probably designed more for... He's gone into the wall, that's going into the wall. That shadowing effect is designed, I think, for more like the night races, so as if it's like a light glare.
Right.
And I don't think that's happening because this track does start, especially in Formula One. You race from just before the sunset, and you finish under the floodlights at night. So that's one thing that's unique about this track. That's why it's got all these floodlights everywhere.
We won't see that thing because we're just racing during the day. So
yeah, we're just racing. I think we're racing during midday. Oh dear. We're racing during midday, so we're not going to see the sun going down. But you could simulate it up to sunset.
Yeah.
But you can't really simulate further than that. Assetto Corsa is limited. But in terms of looks, I mean, all the runoff areas, they're all there. It's very accurate.
I mean, even looking outside of the circuit, you can see sort of the sandy, the mountains, and it's pretty realistic.
It is
I've been to that part of the world, and it does look like what it looks like there. So,
yeah. I mean, there is definitely an accurate representation right here of the track, and for that I think it's probably for that it's worth a download. I think for that it is worth download. It's not too bumpy. There's just very slight bumps here and there, which is great. The rumble strips are properly modelled, so you can feel them if you take a wheel over onto the rumble strips. There you go. Right, you can feel them. Under brakes, the traction on the car is really good, so that means that the grip on the road surface has been gripped properly, and you can see it is quite highly detailed. It is quite highly detailed. A few things here and there. Collision boxes don't work in all of the places, but there are around in most of them. Again, you've still got that glitch where can you see the shadow on the right hand side? It sort of grows. When you watch it, it's growing along the.
Oh yeah.
But I think that's a graphical issue with Assetto Corsa, which they haven't yet sorted out. But apart from that, the track is quite.
Yeah, I mean, it does look. I mean, for what I've watched, it's there, isn't it?
It is all there.
It compares quite high up to other Yas Marina circuit games, and
yeah, I mean, I think the Formula One games have this best. Quite honestly, I think maybe Grid Autosport has it fairly nicely as well. One thing that we did notice is that this hotel, it doesn't actually change colour, which it does in all the other games.
Yeah.
It does change colour as it does in real life.
is that at night then?
At night, but even here in the evening,
okay.
it should be changing colour, and that it doesn't do. But hey, it's a mod. You're not going to get everything on it. We don't really have that much in the way of lighting in Assetto Corsa at the moment, so
Something for them to work on, I think.
Yeah, I'm not really expecting too much from it. The building's all there. And I think what else really. Another glitch that I might say he's going into the pit lane, and there you go. That's what I meant by one where I said all the collision boxes don't work. There's one of them.
Right.
So as you saw when you dipped it in there into the sand.
I didn't know the Yas Marina had a trampoline.
Yeah. So there's one example of a collision box not working. It seems to have a hole in the floor. You've got a texture there, but it just flips you. It just flips you over.
But I mean, I'm now looking at the sort of the skybox, and you know, it really has come on quite a lot since its early days, hasn't it?
Yeah. And it looks good on even on these modded tracks. It does go in. It does go quite well.
But saying that, I don't think there's many clouds in the sky in Abu Dhabi.
We can get rid of the clouds just by modding them.
Yeah, but I mean, it's you know, if anywhere else that looked pretty realistic. I think.
I think so. You have to give it to Assetto Corsa for the work that they're doing on this. I mean, there haven't been updates in a few weeks, but you know, you still look at it and you think, well, the community is constantly updating the game. Assetto Corsa, you know, they're updating the game in terms of the engine, and you know, they're working on F mod to get better sounds, and they're working on maybe few new tracks. Spa, for example, we're waiting for that. We're eagerly waiting for Spa. But at the same time, you've got the community making things like these. You know, we tested out last week Catalonia, and you probably noticed that a majority of our videos now are really community-based mods.
Exactly.
So we're just showing basically what we like, and I think that's going really, really well. Shadowing on here is quite nice. I think maybe the road may be a little bit too saturated on the sides. I think it's just a little bit too blue, and same with the grass. I think the grass is just a little bit too green. But that just could be a HDR thing that we're running, so it just could be the HDR. Apart from that, I mean, what do you think of it on the track overall?
I mean, for what I've seen on the TV when I watch the F1 races, and what I've seen today, it looks pretty good.
It is pretty good.
The mod has done a brilliant job on. I'm sure it's a team, more personally, but the team has done a brilliant job on this.
I agree. I definitely agree with that. What I will say is that unfortunately, just like the real life track, Sector 3 is really boring. It's just
I don't know. I'm going to disagree with you. I think it's nice that it changes. I mean, if you had Sector 1, which is, you know, the race mode. Sorry, the racetrack, and then it sort of goes in the street mode without the buildings, say.
Yeah.
But it's different, isn't it? I mean,
it's different, but it doesn't really pass. It doesn't give you so much of an opportunity to really throw. I mean, look at this. He's gonna see the corners are a bit confusing. I mean, I've raced this in different games before, and it is a nice track to race on when you're, maybe on your own.
Yeah.
But put a few cars on here, and you find out sector 2 and 3 is
It's congested, isn't it?
yeah.
But
you just can't do anything.
I know,
It slows you down too much.
But then again, that's where your skill has to come out, doesn't it? Though I mean,
I don't think I've seen that many overtakes at all through sectors 2 and 3 in anything. What I will say though is that this mod is accurate to the real life track, and I would say probably I'd give it an 8 out of 10.
I'm going to be more kind and say 8.5.
Okay.
Because it's modelled very well, regardless of whether sector 2 and 3 you say are not very up to your scratch. But
that's
modelled,
exactly what the real life.
Yeah, I mean it's modelled pretty well. Few glitches here and there, shadow issues, but I think they've done a brilliant job on that.
I mean the only reason I'm saying 8 out of 10, maybe not 9 out of 10, and I'm saying because it is a conversion. It definitely looks like it's a conversion from perhaps R Factor or something. And that's why I'm saying, okay, so it's not been completely modelled from the start, but it has been converted well. Yeah. Because obviously you can't just go straight plop out and do it.
Yeah. Just by looking at that bridge now we're approaching the Yas Marina circuits. I mean
it's nicely done.
Really realistic.
It's very nicely done. I think what I would say to the model, if I was saying to model author to work on, the way the lights are with these weird. Can you see the sort of
lines coming out?
Yeah, the sort of the shading, the glare shading.
Yeah.
I think remove that. If you remove that and let Assetto Corsa naturally handle that when lighting comes into it.
Yeah. I'm just looking at that now. Yeah.
Can you see it?
I see what you're talking. Yeah.
If you just remove that, it will definitely improve because it is noticeable. Even if you're looking at the racetrack, it is noticeable. But with these white lines just appearing up in the in the grandstands and round the track. But apart from that, I like it. And think what we'll do is we will leave you with the end of this lap, plus we'll get another hot lap out of it and just let you enjoy the track and see what you think for yourself. Leave a comment in our comments box below whether you agree with us, whether you like this track or not. The download link is in our description box, so make sure you check that out and try it out for yourself. Like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos on Assetto Corsa, and we'll see you in the next episode.